everyone, welcome back. I'm Albert, and today we will work with time intelligence functions. They are very useful, especially when we want to understand the trend of our data on long term. And here are all our functions that we will use today. And as you can see, they are quite a lot. They are doing different things. They have different outcome depending on what we will need in our future reports. We can just use them. But let's see them in action. And without further ado, let's just start. So first measure that we want to do it before applying time intelligent functions is just we need to make a total sales measure. So we just write total sales and we say sum of our table sales and then just sales. So I'm gonna quickly show you the source of our data. So this is our Excel table. We will focus on sales during this period of time, about 4 years, and we will apply different time intelligence functions, and we will see what we can get out of this. And going back now, we just need to move this measure in a folder, so we'll just create a folder now. Measures, and we will start with our first intelligent functions, what we want to do now. But before, let's just add the matrix and add the timeline, date, and also our first measure, total sales. So as you can see, data already has been filtered in a matrix table. We have sales by quarter, by months, and also by days. But I will just simplify things. I will get quarter out, and I will focus mostly on months. And let's just increase a little bit our values. Headers and what else? Okay, I think it's enough like that. Just zoom it a little bit. So in total sales we have our sales by each month, so we have it here, and also by year we have here, also similarly for 2011 and so on. So what we want to do first, I would like to shift data. For example, I would like to build a new column in January to be moved on February. So later on I will be able to subtract February from January and create a percentage, because I would like to see the percentage change from January to February, from February to March, and so on. And that will be very interesting to visualize it, because you can easily understand better what is happening from one month to the other. And for that we will just start with our first function, and that will be date add. And we will use calculate function. We will use our first measure, total sales, because we want to filter total sales, and then we want to shift our data with 1 month forward. So we will say date add we are asked about dates, so we just simply add dates and date, the number of intervals that we want to shift, so I will say -1, and I will choose month because this is what I want to get. Close parentheses, hit enter. Now we can just add our new measure, date add, after total sales and values. So as you can see, we have shifted our currently sales from one month to the other. So I have February here, but here in the new column I have January. Now I can just easily subtract this column from this one, and then if I split by this one, I will get the percentage change, just like that. So as you can see, it's very simple. So you just make a measure and we'll name it percentage change to previous month. Let's write like this: percentage change previous month. So what we want to do first is to take our first column, total sales, subtract the second column, date add, and then we take it all together with parentheses and split it to date add, and that's the way we will get the percentage change. And we need to go in format and just transform this in percentage. Now if we will add it in our table, let's put it after total sales, we will see the change. Just because we don't have 2009 like December, we don't have it, we will get just infinity for first month, but we can also exclude it if we don't want to keep it. And then actually we get the real change. So we can see that from January to February we have -0.5 percentage change. From February to March we have an increase of 11.5 percentage, and so on, which I think is quite awesome. We can also represent this in a graph if you want, very easily. So this is with the percentage change from a previous month. Next function that we will use is the same period last year. So let's just build it quickly. So we'll say same period last year. And we will use as usual calculate. This is the filtering function, and we will say total sales, and then we'll use same period last year, which is already here, and we'll just enter our date column, and again only close the parentheses, hit enter. And we have the measure here. We just need to select now our matrix and add our new measure. And we will see it here that, of course, for 2009 we don't have any data, but for 2011 we already have taken data from 2010, and we can just see, make a comparison now, 10 months. Same period last year. Next function will be start of the month. So With this function we can see the first day of each month. We can see the cells, so in case we need that, we'll use this function, start of month, and we will calculate total cells and start of month. As you can see, we have different options to choose, and we just add inside dates and date, and that's it. Close parentheses, and now we can just put a measure on our table, matrix table. And we have in January first day 194, February 813, and let's check, for example, January 2010. So we have 193.88, so it's rounded up to 194. So we can also take the last day of the month if we need. So for that we will use last date function. Last date. Use calculate as usually, total cells and last date, and we just need to enter the dates. We add again our measure, and for January we have a 6.3K, February 1.2. So we can just check this easily in our Excel. Last day on February, it's 31. So we need to sum up all these numbers. So it's 6.3K, 6.3K. So it's matching. Now let's use opening balance month, another measure. Balance month. With this we should take the last date of a previous month. So let's just enter the formula function. So opening balance month, it's here. We also have a quarter, week and year, and we just need to add total cells, dates, and we can also filter if we want, if we need. Okay, let's just add it. So we can see now that we have here the last date and the opening balance month. So it takes the last date of a previous month. So we can see here that the data is shifted. We also have a closing balance month. This is actually similar to last date. Let's just make a new measure. and we had opening, now we have closing. Closing balance amount. We have it here. We have total sales. And then just dates and date. Okay, it's just processing a little bit. We have the measure. Let's just expand this a little bit. So we have now closing balance month, so actually it's same thing with last date, so we get same output. So meaning that we get the last day of each month summed up in, like sales in our case. We can also use previous month function, and that is similar to date add. So let's just do it. Previous month, and we start with calculate total sales, and just add the measure previous month. We also have day, quarter, what we need, and we just need to add dates and date, and also just to write here previous month. And we close the last parenthesis, and let's add the measure. So previous month, we can see in February we have January, in March we have February, and so on. So it's shifted with 1 month. We can also add next month. So as you can see, a lot of functions available depending on what we need to visualize. So let's call this next month, and with this also calculate total sales, and now just next month function. Next month is here, dates, and that's it. Close parenthesis. Let's add the measure. So let's see. Now it's shifted the other way around. As you can see, February is in January, March is in February, April is in March, and so on. So actually we can manipulate data very easily with these functions. We can also use next day function. Let's just do it. Next day, and similarly we use calculate function, total sales, and as a filter we will say next day, dates and date, and that's it. Close parenthesis. But the measure. So this is actually for only for the day. So let's see. Let's expand January, and We can see now that the data is already shifted in the next day column from the current date to the next day here. So in 2 January actually we have data from 3 and so on. We can also copy this because it's quite similar with the previous day, so we can add a new measure previous day, and now we will get data the other way around. So let's call this previous day. Previous day, enter. And where is it? It's here, so we add in a table, and now we have also previous day. So in 1st January we have actually the data sales from 2nd January, from 2nd January we have the data from 3 January, and so on. So it is like the other way around. We can also have a total year-to-date function, like year-to-date function, so which will sum up all the amounts in case we need. So we can call this total year-to-date. And we just apply formula total year-to-date, it's here, and we say total sales as an expression, and then we just need to add our dates, date column, and if we have filters or year-end date we can apply it. We can use, and let's see this measure in action. So actually you can see it is summed up everything, all days. Also if we do go to for months, we can see that January and February it's already summed up here, and then also March, and so on until the year is ended, and then it starts again for the next year. We can also do that with the quarter to date function if we want to see only the quarters summed up. So we can write quarter to date, and we can say calculate total sales again, and just use the function dates quarter to date, dates quarter to date, which is here, and we just need to add our dates, close parentheses. We just take this and drop it in our matrix table. But as you can see, it's summed up until here. This is the 4th quarter, January, February, March. But let's add again our quarter dates. So we have it here now. Quarter 1. You can see easily that first month and second is summed up, and also the third one. And then with the quarter 2, it starts again from April. Then May is summed up, and eventually June, and then it goes again from next month. It will be resetted, and same calculations for each quarter. Okay, we also have month to date, so basically we can sum up all the days. and then we will just be resetted until the last day, and then it starts again for February. So let's do that. Month to date. So we calculate again total sales and eventually month, date, month date, dates, month date. We add our dates inside, close parentheses, and let's just see the measure in action. I will just pull out quarters. Okay, and we can see now that all the numbers are summed up until the end of the month, and then with February it starts again from the first day of February, and it goes in the same way. As you can see, in case of quarter to date, it still goes it still starts from 139,731 plus 813, which will give us 140k.5. So the difference is that in case of month to date, it starts every month to sum up all the days, all the sales that we have. Good. Let's take now dates between. This is more like a function which calculates the sales between some specific dates. So let's just take for example from February to end of March. So let's write the measure dates between. We start with calculate, like usually, total sales, and now we write the function dates between, which is here, and we need to add dates, start date and end date. So for that we will just add our dates and date column. Then we need to specify the start date from which we want to sum up our sales. So we'll say date, and we need to add the year 2010, February, and let's say first day. And we want also to add the end date until same year 2010, but for now just until March, end of the March 31, close parentheses, enter, and let's just add a card in this case because it doesn't make sense to add the data in our matrix. So dates between, let's see how much we get, and then we'll double check. So we have 276k. So that was starting from 1st February until end of March. Let's just check this. 1st February, it's here, and until end of March. So we have 276k versus 276k, meaning that the data is okay, calculations are okay. We can also use another measure which kind of do the same thing, but it's a little bit different. So let's say dates in period, dates in period, and we start with calculate. And we will say total sales, and now we just add our function dates in period, which is here. So we need to leave also our dates table and column. The start date, let's say end of December 2013, so we will say date 2013 December last day, close parentheses, and now we need to indicate what interval we want to do the calculations, since we start from end of December. So we will say -15, and as an interval we will choose days. So what we want to know in this case is in fact the last 15 days of December. We want to know how much sales we had there, so we just need to close parentheses now. We will add the measure in this card, so it was called dates in period. Let's see, where is it? Dates in period, dates in between, dates in period. So we have 119k, and we said that we need to go, just to double check this, we will go in the last day of December, and we want like 15 days, last 15 days. How we'll do that? Let me think. So if we have 31 days, right? 1, 2, 3. We are trying to count now how many days means that as a date. So if we go like 15 days now back, 1, 2, 3. We should start from 17 December, right, until the end. So let's just take now until 17 December, which is here, until here. So we have 118k, 119, so it is somehow rounded up, because we have 118,824. So, but if I will add here more digits, it will be exactly, so let's say 3 digits. Yeah, so it's exactly as in the Excel file. And last measure, parallel period, and let's see how we can use this function also. Parallel period, and we also use calculate as expression total sales. Okay, and we just enter the function parallel period, and we just need to add our dates inside. number of interval that we want to check the data. So let's say -1 month and close parenthesis. And we will add our measure after total sales. So in this case, as you can see, 1 month was switched down because this is what we wanted. But we can also try to change from month to year if we want to see how was the sales in, I don't know, January 2012 comparing with 2011. So we can say 1 year, hit enter. Okay, we can see blank data because the function is trying to pull out data from 2009, but we don't have data in 2009, so we start from 2010. So if we scroll down now 2011, we can see that we have the data on a year basis from 2010, so with 1 year back, and same should be for 2012. We have data from 2011, so we can compare data that easily. Let's see what else we can just take from here. So we can take the month, quarter and year. So I think that is all that we can do with this function. So if I say month, back again, we'll get the data from a previous month. So I think this is all for today. As you can see, a lot of functions, intelligent functions that can help in any scenario, the possible scenario that we will have. And we can also use it in our graphs very easily to visualize maybe better all the trends that we are interested in. And that was all for today. Until next time, take care. Goodbye.